agenda item on our list is continued hearing for 157 Bedford Street Liquor Market.
157.
If anybody is here, you can come up to the mic and introduce yourself and give us an update if you can.
Of course.
How are you guys doing today? My name is Dave Kumbati. I'm the tenant who's going to be inside of 157 Bedford Street, Unit C. The sign people are also joining me. They're just on their way. Sorry.
Should we wait? BCAT's.
I
Just
can.
give us one moment. We gotta. I think we have a technical issue. TV.
So I know I missed the last meeting. The sign company people were here. They told me about the situation where you guys believed that the sign was too big and in terms of visibility and all of that stuff. And I guess in terms of the town paperwork, we're only allowed to have one sign for the unit, I believe. The other units at that building also have multiple signs. For example, Subway. They have one on top of their entry door, one on the side of the road, and one behind the building. So we wanted to, do the same thing. The landlord permits it. He's also given paperwork. He sent in a letter and stuff to the building department about that he approves the signs being the same as the other tenants inside of the unit, inside of the building. And in terms of the size of the sign, they're all approximately the same size as the other signs that are on the building. In terms of Subway and My Gym, they'll be on both sides of us. And the main reason for the signage is just so we can capture the people that are going on the roadway that can see us. We are a little bit more towards the inside of the building, which is tough on the visibility standpoint, which was our main reasoning.
Okay.
And she's joining me right now.
Okay.
So.
Perfect. All right. Thanks for the update. I see if the board has any questions. Jeremy?
I think, and I know you've just arrived, but last time we had asked if we had the dimensions of the signs that were removed from the last tenant. Did we get that last time? Or did we just ask for it?
We just asked for it, so I don't know if you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went back and I got the measurements for my gym. It's gonna be Unit D right next to Unit C, which we are gonna be doing liquor market. And their current sign is bigger for sign A, so I also took some pictures, like you can see the sign from.
I can.
Sorry.
Hand them out. Yeah, if you can. That would be great.
They,
Thank you.
There actually might be a few more.
That's the dimensions of my gym.
Point of clarification, are you replacing My Gym or Snippets?
Snippets.
Snippets.
Okay.
I'm just doing a comparison since we were talking about how Subway sign is, and then I went back and I saw Subways, then I went to My Gym, which they also have 3 signs each.
I'll just wait to see that when it gets over here. Okay. But that was my question.
Jeff?
I kind of already answered my question of which location were you going into, so it is Snippets is what you're replacing, so.
John?
Yeah, my gym sign is irrelevant to that. We wanted to know what the Snippets sign dimensions were.
I send that to you.
It was
I have the previous year.
Isn't that the same?
Oh, yeah, okay.
The decisions it's 9 round.
That's for Subway and uh,
The sign that we're proposing isn't, to mainly cause any sort of nuisance or anything like that. We mainly, I know it looks like it might be bright and flashy and stuff like that. It truly isn't. It's just gonna be, flat face, no changing of colors, nothing like that. It's mainly just to show the customers that we're there. With the design of the sign, it was just so it's a little bit more appealing than, just a basic font saying liquor market and stuff like that.
Okay.
The store is pretty much going to be a little bit more craftier and, stuff like that, very easy in and out. So which is why we want to attract people to that, to show that we're a little different from the others in the area.
Okay, thank you.
Want me to go next?
Yep, John?
All right, so I have some comments. I don't think we said to you the signs were too big. What we were concerned about was that she commented there was gonna be a pavilion sign, a fourth sign coming sometime,
Pylon sign.
pylon sign. So,
I apologize for that, was a misunderstanding. It's only gonna be 3 signs. There's no pilot
Okay.
sign at the plaza.
well, I'm glad to hear that. All right, so the fourth sign is out. I wanna make a comment about the other signs on the building. The board doesn't set precedent. Just because it was voted that way with a current board, not this board, but the board before us, for Subway, gave them 3 signs. Just because they have it doesn't give you the right to have it. Each sign is an individual thing, okay? I personally have no problem with the sign over the front door, and I have no problem with the sign facing Bedford Street. I have a sign with the back, I have a problem with the back sign. It's redundant, there's no real reason for it. It only goes to the parking lot behind you. I can understand why you want it, but to me, it's sign garbage, you don't need it. Plus, has anybody been there to look at them signs? If you look at that Subway sign in the back of the building, have you seen it?
I have, yes.
It's jammed with bird's nest all around it.
Of course,
Bird stuff coming down the side of the building.
of course.
So the landlord's not gonna maintain it, he's not gonna maintain the property back there, and we shouldn't be babysitting them, so I don't wanna see that sign.
I definitely agree on, I did see that Subway sign and how, ugly it looks in
Yeah.
terms of the bird's nest and, all the stuff that's growing on it and stuff. In our case, this being my first business, I'm gonna make sure that it looks appealing, it's not gonna be, overgrown with anything, there isn't bird poop and stuff like that on it. Just because I wanna make sure that people see that cleanliness on the outside, that they'll also see on the inside. We wanna make sure that it is appealing.
Are you gonna clean Subway sign too? No, right? So, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I have no problem voting for the other 2 signs, but I'm not gonna be voting for the sign.
Just, John, just to clarify, what sign, is on?
So
C.
is
Sign
the
B, right?
one on the backside.
B is on the back or C?
Is it
B is the backside facing
Okay, so that's
Citizens
the
Bank.
one, that's the one that I'm not interested in. I don't think there's real need for it anyways. I mean, it really faces the back of Citizens Bank. So if some people going into the hockey store, not even those guys, more like Dunkin' Donuts people might see it. But that's redundant. I don't think you're gonna need it. You need it for any reason. So,
If I may add in, if you're going down Bedford Street from,
can't see it. Can't see it till you're at the corner of the building. It's not gonna do you any good. And at that point, you'll be able to see the sign facing Bedford Street.
Sign, yeah.
So, that's where I am.
John, any more comments?
Nope.
Thanks. Joe?
I'm kind of in agreement with just sign A and C. It's a small building. There's too much repetitive there. It looks like a billboard already. And, and sign B is bigger than sign C, so you'd be asking for a bigger sign in the back where you really don't need it in the back if you're gonna view it from, the main road. That's just my comment.
Thanks.
That's it.
So, I tend to agree with some of the sentiment on the board. I think that there's no real reason for the sign B. It seems like an extra sign. I don't think Snippets had a sign back there. As the original tenant, always had a bit of a concern on this building in general, with the amount of signage on it for such a small building. So I think for me, I think that sign B would be tough to approve. But I think in light of that, I think that A and C are are appropriate for the building. I like to see A a little bit smaller, but I think if we were, that was only really if we were gonna end up with 3 signs, but, or 4 signs. So, it sounds like, you know, A and C look pretty good. Is there no other comments? I can open up to the public. All right. So right now, we'll open this up to the public. Is there anybody here to speak for or against the 157 Bedford Street? Seeing none. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So are there any other comments from the board?
Pretty clear, my comments are, I'll vote for the other 2, but I'm not gonna vote for B.
And I think we have to put restrictions on the lumens, as we usually do. And noticing the note on snippets, the sign was to be turned off by 11 PM. That's what it was for snippets.
So by law, we're not allowed to sell liquor past 11 PM, so the sign will be shut off by 11 PM. That's when the business will be closed, so there's no need to have the sign open.
Okay. So I think that it may make sense to, I think in order to do this, we may have to split out the signs, A and C, and then B, vote separately.
So,
Do you need a motion from somebody to take the signs separately?
Yes, but do you have something else?
I just wanted to add in, so my gym has signs, one in the front, one on the side of the building, where you can see from the plaza, like, not on the back side, but on the actual other side of where the trash and the extra parking is.
I know,
And they have one by the road.
I know.
And I can't remember if they have one on the back or not. I know Subway does.
Not on the back, but it's on that other side, facing the back park.
Yeah.
It was a different board at that time. We can't speak to that, if you don't mind me saying.
Of course, no, I understand. My, purely said, the reason why I just wanted to have the signs on all 3 sides was just because people can see that we're there, and it's, just an awareness standpoint, not as any sort of, nuisance or anything like that. But I do understand your point where you say the Subway sign is, it's not appealing at all with the bird poop and all the stuff that's growing on it. It is sad that because of them that,
Not just because of them, it's
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
package.
of course,
I'm not basing your sign on Subway's sign, it's just a footprint to go by, that's all.
gotcha.
Yeah, and to that sentiment, I just, me personally, I don't think that there is a need for any signs really on that back side of the building, especially with the other side facing Bedford Street already. So that's my position on it. So if there's no other comments from the board or the applicant, we need to make a motion first to,
I'll make a motion that we take the signs for 157 Bedford Street as independently and vote on them individually.
Second?
all right, motion has been made and seconded to split out signs, A, B, and C into separate, votes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we'll start with sign A. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve sign A on the plan dated 4/6/22 as presented. Not to exceed 90 lumens and to be turned off by 11 PM.
Second?
Okay. Normally, was there anything on that decision that had a time to turn it on?
There is nothing but on time now.
Okay. All right, so the motion has been made and seconded to approve liquor market, sign A, as shown on plans dated 4/6/22. The condition that no other, the condition that 90 lumens, do not exceed 90 lumens per square foot, and the sign is shut off by 11 PM.
Point of order? Can we should also put in on each one that no other signs, even if by right, because we're doing them separate, I think you'd have to do that in each one.
Okay. And then no other signs, even if by right. All those in favor?
Aye. All right, so there's one done.
So we'll do sign B next.
Motion to deny sign B as written.
Motion to approve
Approve, then deny.
Well, oh, so I should be doing sign C then.
the.
still-
No,
we'll still do
then
B.
when we vote, we're gonna deny it.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry. I did that. Okay, motion to approve sign B as written.
Needs a second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion to approve sign B as shown on plan 4/6, dated 4/6/2022. All those in favor? All those unfavored? Opposed?
Aye.
All right, and sign B, sign C, sorry.
Motion to approve sign C as written on plan dated 4/6/22 with the condition not to exceed 90 lumens, to be turned off by 11 PM, and no other signs if by right.
Second.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded for sign C for 157 Bedford Street. To approve. With the condition not to exceed 90 lumens per square foot, to be shut off at 11 PM daily, and no other signs even if by right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right, the next item on the agenda is 2 Robin Street. Jeremy, can you read that into the record?
Sure. This is the petition of Megan Gerard and Joshua McGarry for property located at 2 Robin Street, Burlington, Mass., as shown on the Burlington Assessor's Record, reference map and parcel 25-51-0, to split the lot into 2 lots. The existing lot is 14,000 square feet with a 140-foot frontage and an existing non-conforming dwelling. Proposed Lot A is to be 5,600 square feet of area and 80 feet of frontage on Mayflower Street and 70 feet of frontage on Robin Street. Proposed Lot B is to be 8,400 square feet of area and 120 feet of frontage on Wellesley Street. The proposed division is in violation of RO district zoning that requires a minimum of 20,000 square feet and lot frontage of 100 feet, front setback of 25 feet, rear and side setbacks of 15 feet. Lot A is in violation of lot area, lot frontage, side setbacks from Lot B and Mayflower Street. Lot B is in violation of lot area.
Thank you. Good applicant can introduce themselves and,
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Thomas Murphy here for the applicants. Sitting at the table with me are Megan Gerard and Joshua McGarry. They're the applicants in this matter. Megan and Joshua are engaged. They live at the house at 2 Robin Street. They've bought it back in March of 2019, so they've been there about 3 years, a little more than 3 years. As stated in the application, and I think you all got a copy of the plan, the existing lot is a 14,000 square foot lot. I think as most of you know, you've been in this for a while anyway, up in that part of town, there are a lot of smaller lots. It's one of the older residential areas in town, and having residential lots less than 20,000 square feet, which is the current norm in Burlington, is pretty common up in that area, just because most of the streets were subdivided back in the early 1900s. So the existing lot is 14,000 square foot lot. It is a grandfathered lot, has a single-family house on it, and like I said, that Megan and Joshua live at. It's a small ranch-style house. It was built about in the early 50s, according to the assessor's records. So it's an older home. They moved in, they fixed it up, but they're kind of at the point now where they're outgrowing it. As I said, they're engaged, and we all know what happens after that, so eventually they're going to need some new room. So if you happen to take a ride by the property, or if you're familiar with the property, it's a fairly severe change in grade from where the house is to the back portion of the lot, which would be Lot B on the plan that was submitted. If the board were to allow this variance, this property would be split into Lot B of 8,400 square feet, and Lot A, which contains the existing house, would have 5,600 square feet. Lot B is substantially lower than Lot A, just from a topography standpoint. Consequently, obviously, the house is up on where Lot A is, that's where their driveway is. Lot B is essentially unusable to them just because you can't use it at your backyard because it slopes down. It has become somewhat overgrown, and like I say, it's not very attractive and certainly not very practical from the property owner's standpoint. What my clients hope to do, if they're successful in this request, is to build a house for themselves on Lot B, which will be the 8,400 square foot lot, and then sell the existing home on Lot A. Their thought process basically is that'll give, they love the neighborhood, they love the area, they want to stay up there, they like their neighbors. They'll be able to build a larger home than what they have there. It's still going to be a small lot, so you're not going to get, I would suggest, the large knockdown mansion type of thing we've all been seeing around town the last 10 years or so. It'll certainly be a larger house than what they have now, but it's just not enough room to put a huge house on with the setbacks and bylaws and all that type of stuff. And that, they will also plan to sell their existing home. Again, that's on a 5,600 square foot lot. So again, that's not conducive to a builder buying that to knock that down, because that's a very small lot. So their hope and their expectation is some young family who are trying to get their foot in the door will be able to buy the existing home, and it'll be a good starter home for that type of a situation. And I would suggest that the benefit to that, to both the neighborhood and the town, is it keeps our housing stock somewhat diversified to the degree that we can. I think we all know that over time, all of the 1950s ranches have been disappearing into 5,000 square foot homes. You know, when you get an opportunity to keep one of the older ranches in place, and the logistics are such as, this is not a 1950s ranch on a 20,000 square foot lot. This is a 1950s ranch on a 5,600 square foot lot. So the likelihood, I would suggest, is greater that will remain as a good starter home level house in Burlington housing stock. In the event that this fails, frankly, again, they love the house, they put a lot of money, a lot of hard work into it to fix it up, but it's just getting too small for what their plans are. And if I would suggest, in all likelihood, if they sell this, a builder's going to buy that, and it's a classic knockground situation. That old 1950s ranch will be disappearing, and on the 14,000 square foot lot, we'll have another big house. So I say all that from a background standpoint, that in all likelihood, there's going to be a new structure up there to one degree or another. That's just the reality of where we are in the real estate market in Burlington. So you could wind up with the existing small ranch and larger but not massive new home, or frankly, a massive new home. That's like I said, that's just the realities. So obviously they need variances to do that, as stated in the building inspector's letter and then stated on the application. If this were to go through, the existing home would have setback issues because all of a sudden the boundary line is going about 7 or 8 feet to the side of the house. So included in the relief asked for in the application, setback variances for the existing home, both on the side yard facing the new Lot B and also over on a street on Mayflower Street. It's too close to the street over there. In addition to, obviously, a square footage variance for Lot A to allow that to be a buildable lot despite it only having 5,600 square feet of land. As to Lot B, the variance is square footage only, 8,400. If there is going to be a new home there, it would be built within the existing setback requirements, which is 15 feet side and rear and 25 feet front. So the only variance that would be required for the Lot B is just the area variance. As the board knows, in order to get a variance, you've got to show 3 things. You've got to show that there's a problem up there in relation to the topography of the lot that creates a hardship. I would suggest the hardship here is the current topography of the lot makes half of this land, actually a little bit more than half of it, somewhat unusable to the owner of the house. And consequently, because of that, it's somewhat in disrepair. It's overgrown, it's not very attractive. And the reality, because of the topography, is there's really nothing that you can do with that part of the land if you're living up top there. So that's related to the topography of the land. I would suggest that granting this is not going to derogate from the intent of the bylaw. Obviously, the area bylaws in town is to allow a certain amount of spacing between houses, allow everybody some privacy. Up in this area of town, the 20,000 square foot lot is the exception rather than the rule. So these lots here will be in keeping with the general neighborhood, and the topography is such that there'll be some spacing between the new house and the existing house once it's built. So I would suggest that the intent of the bylaw will still be maintained, even if this is granted. And lastly, I don't think there's any deterrent or negative on the common good. Again, I would suggest that this is going to spruce up this area with the new home down at the bottom of the hill at Lot B. I think aesthetically that'll make the area look nicer. And frankly, at the end of the day, you'll have 2 smaller homes as opposed to 1 big home. And again, I just think both aesthetically and from a housing diversification of housing standpoint, I think that's a benefit to the town. So, Mr. Chairman, that's basically the gist of what we're looking for and the reasons why we're looking for it. My client's here to answer any questions that the board might have, or any comments the board wants to make.
All right, thank you. John, do you have any-
Actually, one more thing, Mr. Chair, I forgot to, the client did bring a slide this over. Sure. There's just some neighborhood people that signed a petition type of a thing in favor of the application.
all right, take it back, sorry. John, do you have any questions?
I don't, yeah, I do. I have a couple of questions. So, to the homeowners, is there an option? How come you don't tear the house down yourself and put 1 single home on the lot?
So we actually already fixed up that house. We first bought it in 2019, and we put quite a bit of money into fixing it up. I really do love the house. It's definitely small, but it's a really, really nice house.
Okay. Look, I've been down there, I've driven by the property a few times. The purpose of the zoning bylaws is for density. I'm not crazy about it, to be honest with you. I don't think there is a real hardship here. I think it does have a negative effect on the neighborhood if we split the lot. And unfortunately for this one, I think I'm not going to be able to support it.
Okay. Joe?
Yeah, I kind of know the neighborhood very well there, and the topography, you know, one doesn't match the other. Sort of add on to make this livable, or make it, you know, that's not gonna happen. Is there an overall plan back in the 50s that showed this a separate parcel at one time? Because I know that whole neighborhood is tiny lots up there.
That's what this is. This is a compilation of tiny lots. I think the original subdivision plan up in that neck of the woods was 1912, I believe.
1912.
And there's a whole bunch of 25 by 100-foot lots that people over across
Correct,
the
that's
time.
the same as my
Yeah,
neighborhood.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
down the Windmere, the
So-
same thing.
Familiar with that because it's, you know, that lot doesn't go with the next lot. And they're all tiny, so that whole from Mayflower to Wellesley, from Colburn to Robin, they're all averaging between 55 and 8,000 square
Yeah,
feet.
they're all,
There's probably 7, 8 of them there.
Yeah, there's Birch Street, and there's a whole,
Yeah.
right up Peach Orchard on the left, all the way up to the hill. That whole area is combinations of old 1912 lots to various degrees.
And this was deeded one lot way back.
As far back as these folks bought it, and before that. There's, I got a copy of the deed here if the board wants to see it, but it references lots 480, 438, 439, 435, 36, 37, all in those.
Yep.
I'm happy to, if the board cares to look at that, I'll slide that down to John. Sure.
Any other questions, Joe?
No
Comments?
further questions.
I'd just like to see that before I
Okay, we can
ask a question.
go to Jeremy. unless-
I'd like to see that as well.
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I have a few comments we can go through. I always find it hard to find a hardship in a lot split in general. You know, the topography of the land, I can see that if you're trying to put an addition on or something like that, and you need a variance, maybe a sideline variance to, you know, there's too much ledge or something like that, as far as the shape of the land, but to actually split a lot, I don't see a hardship, and you know, the whole intent of the bylaw is to you know, reduce the density in the area. I know this happens to be somewhat smaller than other areas of town, but that doesn't mean necessarily that we should adhere to what has already been here. You know, for me, splitting a lot that's, you know, less than 20,000 square feet already is really kind of pushing the limits, in my opinion. But let's see if we have any other comments over here. We can open it up.
I was hoping that had a plan on it. It doesn't, showing the other lots. I had already pulled up the deed, saw that at one time it was listed as 2 lots. Everyone pretty much already asked what I was gonna ask on there. I really have nothing to say on that. So, yes, Jeremy.
Yeah, I have nothing new to ask that hasn't been asked or brought up so far on this.
Okay, thank you. There's no other comments on this side. I have two letters I need to read into the record, then we can open it up to the public. So the first letter, to the Board of Appeals, we, the undersigned neighbors of 2 Robin Street, express our support for Megan Gerard and Joshua McGarry's request to split their lot. Megan and Josh are a nice young couple and have done a nice job fixing up their carton house. I can't read any of the signatures, so we're gonna leave that after.
Are they abutters? What?
Yeah, they all live like directly around the land.
Looks like there's about six
Six.
signatures on the list. Next one is from Bill and Monica Chamberlain. My wife and I apologize that we are unable to attend the public hearing this evening due to out-of-state family arriving the same day, but I hope that you will accept this input for the hearing. My wife and I resided at 8 Wellesley Ave since 1987, which is situated directly across the street from the proposed Lot B, identified in application number 22-17. And and we would like to share our thoughts as abutters regarding the request to create a legal buildable Lot B. The landscape of the proposed Lot B has been preserved in its natural beauty by its owners for at least the past 35 years that we've abutted the property. We have richly enjoyed its natural beauty, which has formed a part of this neighborhood. Though there are a number of small lots in the neighborhood that are less than the minimum required square footage in offsets, a number of these lots were created prior to the establishment of the current zoning requirements. I can only assume that the current requirements were put in place to help direct and preserve the character of the community. Creating a legal buildable Lot B would be a detrimental impact on our character of our neighborhood. To speak honestly, we would be very disappointed if this was approved as a legal buildable lot. We believe that an approval of a legal buildable Lot B will definitely change the present character of the neighborhood from a pleasing rural suburb into more of a city appearance by locating a new house on such a small lot. Respectfully, Bill and Monica Chamberlain. Okay, with that, I see a few people in the audience. Is there anybody that would like to speak for or against this application? And come up to the microphone.
You have to
You
come
have
up
to
and
do it
introduce
into the
yourself
record.
and
You have to come up
state
and
your
introduce
case.
yourself. If you can just
Got to
introduce yourself.
State
to the
your
mic.
name, address.
Marie McGarry, Joshua's mom, and I'm for this.
Are you a resident in town?
I live in Woburn. I see all these
Okay.
lots get filled up.
Thank you.
Hello, folks. I'm Mike Gerard. I'm Megan Gerard's dad.
Didn't talking on the
Speak into the
microphone.
mic, sir.
Apologize. I'm Mike Gerard, Megan Gerard's dad, and I live in Burlington. I've been here for my whole life. Definitely in favor of it. I just the one thing that really grabs me about this situation is just the size of the lots, and that it just what they're proposing to do. It just completely matches the neighborhood, in my opinion. It's not like there's a lot of other 8,400 square foot lots and 5,600 square foot lots. I know you guys have gone through this. It just seems that I think this was doing the research, this was 2 lots way back, and I don't know the exact details, 1952 or something. If you hadn't, Tom would know better on something like this, but if you hadn't split the lots, then they became one, and that's basically what happened here. So on their deed, it shows 2 separate lots at some point. So the legal terms, I don't know, but it's just the way it was 2 lots and the way that it matches the neighborhood seems to me that it would be odd, and I get it. I do a little bit of building myself, so I get it on the size of the lots and all that. But in this situation, I'm putting a smaller home and keeping a smaller home just seems, again, what Tom was. I'll reiterate what Tom was saying, is that I think it's a benefit to the town personally. Everyone has their opinion, but that's honestly my opinion, that a young couple gets to, have a very modest home, and then another couple gets to have, nice starter home. So, again, my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, seeing nobody else in the public, we have a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any more comments from the board?
I appreciate all their opinions and stuff, but my opinion hasn't changed any, so.
Yeah, I tend to agree. My opinion hasn't changed either. I don't really see a hardship. Definitely think it's could be a detriment to the public good. And I definitely think it derogates from the intent of the bylaw. So I don't know that I can support this tonight. That's just one vote. So, anybody else on this side?
Yeah, I have nothing else.
Are there any motions?
Motion to approve 2 Robin Street as written.
You gotta,
Yeah, you gotta read it.
Oh, I gotta read all.
Yeah, read it.
motion to approve 2 Robin Street as shown on Assessor's map, parcel 25-51-0, to split the lot into 2 lots. 150 with the proposed Lot A to be 5,600 square feet, 80 feet of frontage on Mayflower Street, 70 feet of frontage on Robin Street. Proposed Lot B, 8,400 square feet of area and 120 feet of frontage on Wellesley Street. Proposed division is in no, I don't need to read that part. Hang on. For the front set, yeah, I think that's all I gotta read there. Got the plan dated,
That's all you need.
yeah,
One,
1/9/2020.
Second.
Second. All right, so the motion has been made and seconded to approve a lot split from 2 Robin. Proposed Lot A is to be 5,600 square feet, with 80 feet of frontage, 70 feet of frontage on Robin Street. Proposed Lot B is to be 8,400 square feet of area and 120 feet of frontage on Wellesley Street. The front setback for Lot A will be 25 feet. Rear will be 15 feet, side setbacks 15 feet. I don't know why it says that. As shown on plan dated 1/9/2020. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the board.
Oh, yeah, Tom, easy.
Okay, everybody get the minutes from the July 5th meeting.
Yes. Motion to approve the minutes, July 5th.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to approve the minutes for July 5th meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
Can we make a motion to adjourn first?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.